Hey fellow witches, wizards and muggles, ever wondered about the deepest, darkest corners of wizarding society? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a concept that shaped generations and fueled a war, the Pure Blood Directory. What does pure even mean in a world of magic? Let's dissect this controversial idea and its chilling implications. Imagine a list, a social register, defining who truly belongs. That's essentially the Pure Blood Directory. It wasn't just a list, it was a declaration of status, a tool of exclusion. But what is a pureblood? Technically someone with no known Muggle ancestry. Yet the directory itself was arbitrary. Compiled by an anonymous author in the 1930s, it listed the sacred 28 families deemed truly pure. This definition is inherently flawed, isn't it? As Dumbledore himself noted, tracing ancestry back far enough would reveal Muggle blood in almost every wizarding family. The concept was less about reality and more about ideology. It was a social construct, designed to create an elite, a way for certain families to claim superiority and distance themselves from those they deemed lesser. This arbitrary line in the sand had devastating consequences. The directory highlighted families who supposedly maintained their magical lineage without intermingling. These sacred 28 became the aristocracy of the wizarding world. Their names carried weight, history, and often arrogance. Being on this list granted social standing, access, and influence. It was a badge of honor for some, a cage for others. Families fiercely guarded their inclusion, often disowning members who married Muggles or Muggle-borns. This focus on lineage over individual merit is a key theme Rowling explores. It mirrors real-world historical aristocracies and their obsession with bloodlines. The directory is a microcosm of this societal ill. It wasn't just about pride, it was about power. These families often held prominent positions in the Ministry of Magic and other institutions. Their purity was a justification for their dominance. Perhaps the most infamous example is the House of Black. Their family tree, a tapestry in Grimmauld Place, chillingly illustrates their obsession with purity. Disowned members are burned from the fabric. Their motto, Tu hors per, always pure, wasn't just a saying, it was a creed. They valued magical power and lineage above all else, leading to generations of dark wizards and witches. Sirius Black's rebellion against this legacy is central to his character. The Black family tree serves as a powerful visual metaphor. It shows how the pursuit of purity leads to isolation, cruelty, and ultimately decay. The house itself is literally falling apart, mirroring the family's decline. Their story highlights the personal cost of this ideology. Sirius and Andromeda were disowned for choosing love and principle over blood. Bellatrix Lestrange embodies the twisted extremism the ideology could foster. The Malfoys weren't on the original Sacred 28 list, a fact Lucius Malfoy likely found irritating, yet they were undeniably one of the most prominent pureblood families. Their power stemmed from immense wealth and political maneuvering. They embodied the hypocrisy of the pureblood elite. While preaching purity, they were pragmatic and self-serving. Lucius used his status and wealth to gain influence, often through intimidation and bribery. Their connection to the dark arts wasn't just ideological, it was practical. Aligning with Voldemort offered them a path to even greater power and the enforcement of their blood supremacy beliefs. Draco's journey shows the pressure this legacy placed on the next generation. The Malfoys represent the insidious nature of inherited prejudice. Draco is raised steeped in these beliefs, struggling later with the reality of their cruelty. Their story questions whether someone can truly escape the legacy of their upbringing. The Gaunts offer a stark contrast to the Malfoys' polished facade. Descendants of Salazar Slytherin, they were purebloods whose lineage had decayed through generations of inbreeding and isolation. They were poor, violent, and unstable. Their story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of obsession with purity. By refusing to marry outside a small circle, they literally bred madness and decline into their line. Morphin and Merope Gaunt are tragic figures, victims of their own family's twisted pride. Voldemort's ancestry through the Gaunts is deeply significant. The most powerful dark wizard of all time came from a line that prioritized blood purity above all else, yet his own existence was a rejection of it, being a half-blood. This irony is central to his character and downfall. The Gaunts show that purity doesn't guarantee power, stability, or even sanity. It can lead to the opposite, degeneration and ruin. Their hovel is a physical representation of their fallen status. Why did this idea take hold? It's a classic case of using arbitrary distinctions to create social hierarchies. In the wizarding world, magical ability is the defining trait, so lineage became the basis for aristocracy. It provided a sense of identity and superiority for those who claimed it. It offered a simple, albeit false, explanation for social standing and power dynamics. It's easier to believe you're inherently better than to admit your privilege is unearned. This ideology manifested in various ways: social snobbery, discriminatory practices in the ministry, and ultimately, violent persecution. The term mudblood is the most potent symbol of this hatred, designed to dehumanize and degrade. Rowling uses this concept as a clear allegory for real-world prejudices: racism, classism, religious intolerance. The wizarding world's struggle with blood purity mirrors humanity's struggle with discrimination based on arbitrary differences. The belief in blood purity wasn't harmless snobbery, it was the foundation for systemic discrimination. Muggle-borns were seen as less trustworthy, less capable, and less deserving. They faced barriers in education, employment, and social acceptance. Under Voldemort's rise, this prejudice escalated into state-sponsored terror. The Ministry, under Death Eater control, implemented the Muggle-born Registration Commission. Muggle-borns were hunted, imprisoned, and had their magic stripped away. This period is chillingly reminiscent of historical genocides and persecutions. It shows the horrifying endpoint of allowing prejudice to fester and gain political power. The wizarding world became a police state built on hate. Not all pureblood families subscribe to this dogma. The Weasleys are the most prominent example. Despite being purebloods, they were considered blood traitors by families like the Malfoys. Why? Because they embraced Muggles and Muggle-borns. They valued love, loyalty, and individual character over blood status. Their poverty, often mocked by the Malfoys, symbolized their rejection of the pureblood elite's materialistic values. The Weasleys represent the possibility of choosing a different path, even within a pureblood lineage. Their home, the Burrow, is a symbol of warmth, acceptance, and genuine belonging, a stark contrast to the cold grandeur of Malfoy Manor or the decaying Grimmauld Place. Their existence proves that blood status doesn't dictate one's values. They actively fought against the pureblood ideology, demonstrating that true family isn't just about shared blood but shared values and love.